The alarm clock next to your bed rings at 6:30 a.m., but you find you cannot lift your arm to silence it. Your body feels paralyzed. A crushing weight sits on your chest as if an elephant is standing on your ribs, and the cold sweat drenching your forehead tells you this is not simple indigestion. For those of you over the age of 60, these early morning hours are known in the medical community as the death zone, because statistics show that 40% of all heart attacks strike during this window when your blood is at its thickest and most lethal. The terrifying reality is that 5 specific habits you believe are healthy are actually priming your heart for a catastrophic failure before you even finish your first cup of coffee. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly how to disarm the 6 a.m. heart attack window and reclaim your future. Here's what most people don't realize. Your body undergoes a violent physiological shift the moment you open your eyes, a process the medical community often fails to warn you about until you're already in the back of an ambulance. Between 6 a.m. and noon, your blood undergoes a process called hypercoagulability, where it naturally becomes thicker and more prone to forming the very clots that shut down your arteries. Mainstream advice tells you to get up and go, but for a heart that has been beating for 6 decades, that sudden surge in demand is like redlining a vintage engine without letting the oil warm up first. My name is Dr. Arthur Vance, and I have spent over 30 years working with adults over the age of 60, specializing in preventative cardiology and geriatric wellness. I have sat across from too many patients who looked at me from a hospital bed, clutching their chest, and asked why nobody warned them that their morning routine was a death sentence. I am done staying quiet while preventable tragedies happen in the quiet of a suburban bedroom. Tonight, you will learn the cortisol spike mistake that ruptures arterial plaque, the common breakfast beverage that turns your blood into sludge, and the 30-second physical habit that acts as a natural reset button for your heart rhythm. Everything I share here is grounded in real medical research, explained in a way you can actually use. 1. The jolt to justice. The alarm clock bolt. Number 1 on this list is the jolt to justice habit, the act of springing out of bed the second your alarm clock rings. Many people don't see this as dangerous. They think they are being disciplined and productive. In reality, your body is transitioning from deep rest to active demand, triggering a massive release of catecholamines, stress hormones like adrenaline. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that this sudden upright posture causes an immediate, sharp increase in systemic vascular resistance, creating a pressure cooker effect in your chest. Vivid metaphor. Think of your arteries like an old garden hose that has been sitting in the freezing cold. If you suddenly blast high-pressure water through it, the brittle lining is liable to crack or burst. Patient story. I once treated a 64-year-old man named Harold, who took pride in his military discipline, jumping out of bed at 5:30 a.m. every day. One Tuesday, that sudden surge caused a tiny piece of calcified plaque in his artery to break loose, leading to a widowmaker heart attack before he even reached the bathroom. Comment bait. Stop right now and honestly think. How many times did you bolt out of bed this week because you were in a hurry? Comment that number below. The fix. The solution is simple. Stay horizontal for 5 minutes after you wake up. Flex your ankles, stretch your arms slowly, and allow your blood pressure to stabilize before standing. Cliffhanger. Now, the second habit is even more dangerous, and the reason it surprises people is because most of them do it on purpose, believing it's actually healthy. 2. The dehydrated dash. Exercise before water. The second deadly mistake is the dehydrated dash, engaging in physical activity or heavy caffeine intake before drinking a single drop of water. Many people don't see this as dangerous. They think they are burning fat or waking up their brain. However, after 8 hours of sleep, you are severely dehydrated. This leads to hemoconcentration, meaning your blood volume drops and your blood becomes viscous like molasses. Vivid metaphor. Imagine trying to pump thick maple syrup through a tiny straw. The strain on the pump is immense. Patient story. I recall a 67-year-old woman, Margaret, who went for a brisk walk every morning on an empty stomach. She collapsed because her thickened blood formed a clot in her carotid artery, leading to a stroke. Comment bait. How many mornings have you reached for your walking shoes before touching a glass of water? Write me in the comments if this is you. The fix. The fix is not complicated. Drink 16 ounces of room temperature water the moment you sit up. This increases your plasma volume and thins your blood naturally. Cliffhanger. But even if you hydrate, the third mistake can still get you because it involves a health food that is actually a chemical trigger for arterial inflammation. 3. The glucose grenade, the morning sugar spike. Number 3 is the glucose grenade, consuming high-sugar fruits, processed cereals, or orange juice as your first meal. Many people don't see this as dangerous. They think they are getting natural energy. But at 7 a.m., your insulin sensitivity is at its lowest point. A rapid influx of sugar causes a massive spike in blood glucose, leading to oxidative stress in the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. Vivid metaphor. It's like throwing a handful of sand into the ball bearings of a precision machine. Everything starts to grind and heat up. Patient story. I once saw a 62-year-old patient who ate a healthy granola bowl and juice every morning. His blood work showed chronic inflammation markers that were off the charts, despite him being thin. He couldn't understand why his blood pressure remained high until we removed that morning sugar bomb. Comment bait. Be honest, does your breakfast contain more than 10 grams of sugar? Look at the labels today and comment sugar if you were surprised. The fix. The solution is simple. Switch to a protein and healthy fat-heavy breakfast, eggs, avocado, or walnuts. This keeps your insulin stable and prevents the inflammatory fire. Cliffhanger. While what you eat matters, the fourth mistake is about an invisible force that hits you the moment you check your phone. 4. Digital cortisol loading, the news trap. The fourth mistake is checking your emails, the news, or social media within 30 minutes of waking. Many people don't see this as dangerous. They think they are just staying informed. However, the brain is in a highly suggestive alpha state upon waking. Consuming stressful information triggers a secondary cortisol spike on top of your natural awakening response. Vivid metaphor. It's like someone breaking into the blueprint room of your body and changing the measurements, telling your heart to prepare for a fight that isn't coming. Patient story. I treated a 70-year-old man who suffered a minor arrhythmia every morning while watching the news. Once he stopped watching the breaking news until after breakfast, his heart palpitations vanished. Comment bait. How many of you check your phone before you even get out of bed? Comment guilty below. The fix. The fix is not complicated. Implement a sacred hour. No screens for the first 60 minutes of the day. Read a physical book or sit in silence. Cliffhanger. This leads us to the final most common mistake, one that involves your bathroom routine and a physical strain that many 60-somethings ignore until it's too late. 5. The Valsalva strain, the bathroom danger. The fifth and final mistake is the Valsalva strain. Holding your breath while straining during a morning bowel movement or lifting something heavy. Many people don't see this as dangerous, but when you hold your breath and strain, you create intense intrathoracic pressure. When you finally exhale, your blood pressure drops and then overshoots, causing a massive rebound spike that can rupture weakened vessels. Vivid metaphor. It is like a surge of electricity hitting a fuse box that is already at its limit. Patient story. I remember a patient, a 68-year-old man, who suffered a cardiac arrest while trying to move a heavy potted plant first thing in the morning without breathing properly. Comment bait. Do you find yourself holding your breath when you move or strain in the morning? Comment, I will breathe, below. The fix. The solution is simple. Practice, exhale on exertion. Never hold your breath. If you are straining, stop, breathe, and use a stool to improve your posture. Tonight, we have uncovered the 5 morning traps: jumping out of bed too fast, starting your day dehydrated, the morning sugar bomb, digital stress loading, and the danger of straining your heart. If you have been doing these things for years, it is not too late. The human body has a capacity for recovery that genuinely humbles me after all my years in medicine. Think about waking up 3 months from now. You feel light, your head is clear, and that morning heaviness is a distant memory. You have the energy to play with your grandkids or walk through the park without that nagging fear. That is what this is really about, not just avoiding a hospital, but your independence, your confidence, and your quality of life. I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 habits are you going to change starting tomorrow morning? Leave your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and I mean that. Subscribe to this channel. Every week I share life-saving medical insights specifically tailored for adults over 60. Like this video. If this helped you, hit the like button so more people can find this before it's too late. Comment, "I am taking control" in the comments. Your commitment may inspire someone else to act. Share this with someone you care about, a partner, a sibling, or a friend. You may never know whose life you protect. This is Dr. Arthur Vance. Take care of your heart. It has been working hard for you for 6 decades. It's time you returned the favor.